Okay, so recording I am.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ooh.
Son.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I'm waiting for Jason to type his mother's phone number. All right, are you typed? Okay, so parenting. The concept of animating using parenting is, or using the idea of parenting is when you want to have multiple animations, different objects, but you don't want to have to create animations on all the objects. So rather you want one object to control the other ones, or to control certain groups together. So like in this concept here, I have a drawing of a sun. What if that is a sun? Scribble drawing of a sun, and the sun is not moving at all. But then I have three null objects here, and they are all rotating. The the idea is they are rotating in the same direction, right? It's just their position that is different. So we select this one, the anchor point, the central point is here. The central point of this one is here, that's the center of the stage. Central point of this one is here. And like we talked about in from all our trainings, including Illustrator and Photoshop, the anchor point or the central point of an object determines the object's rotation and the object's scale. So basically, like if I have this shape now, right? So alt home. So if I have this shape now, this is its central point. If I have to scale or rotate it, if I scale it down or up, it's going or disappearing into that central point. Same thing with rotation. If I rotate it, it's rotating around that central point. If I want to scale it differently, all I need to do is change the anchor point, the central point, where this anchor is. So I can use my pan behind tool, this tool here, to change the anchor points and probably bring it here. Now, once I've done that, scaling this rectangle will scale into that point now. It's not going to scale to the center anymore. It's going to scale to that point. Same thing with rotation. Rotation will now rotate around that point. So this is important both in 2D and 3D, identifying the pivots of the object, so the central point of the object or the anchor point of the object. It will affect the way the object can move in animation. So, but it doesn't affect movement like position. The central point doesn't really affect position. It basically affects scaling and rotation. It can, you can only do it like if I have a motion path, for instance, and I want to attach this object to that motion path. What will be attaching is the central point of the object, not the object itself, basically. So central point is very important, or the pivot point is very important. And for our motion design and for our 3D animation, the central point is key. Let me see, this is giving me warning. There's space now. Calm down. So, so either way, it's going to work for me, but we need to understand how the central point is. So with that in mind, this is our parenting here. We have this central points here, this one here, and this one. These are null objects. And to parents, basically, the most basic way of parenting is changing this link to parent link. Sometimes it might not be uh, showing the way it is here. So, like for instance, I can say, let me hide the switches. So I can toggle my switches between switches and modes, but my parent link is going to be here. There are times it can be hidden. I don't know, for some reason, maybe the system, when you booted it that period, the parent link is missing, like it's not here. It can happen. It has happened sometimes, and you'll be wondering what happened, what was wrong. And switching here doesn't bring it back. So to bring it back, what you do is you just right click on anywhere in this empty box here and locate its parent link and bring it back in. Okay, so just in case it's not there. So at the basic, I want this sun, I want to make it move along with the square on top, the top square. So rather than create a keyframe for the sun, I just come to the parent link option here and select that layer. This layer is top left. So I select that. And now it is being controlled by the top left. Basically, what is controlling your layer is the name that we're written down here. So now if I go and move in my animation, I will see my sun is now moving, following the movement of this guy, right? So even though it's not in the same place, but it is being controlled by the anchor point. So basically, it's the sun is going around that anchor point there. Sun is going around that anchor point. Basically that, right? So another way to do it is just to drag the whip here and drop it on the layer, and to do the same thing, it will position the sun to follow that rotation there. Okay. It can't follow everywhere. How can you have more than one parent? That's your grandfather is not a parent, it's your grandfather. Yeah. So the grandfather will control the parents will now control the child. Yeah. The grandparents will not control the child. That's why it's a grand. There's something he's controlling that's beyond the parent. So technically, now what if I want the sun not just to follow the movement of this corner, but I want to take the sun actually to that point there. So in that form, just clicking here won't work. So what I will do rather is I will hold Shift on the keyboard and then drag the whip to that place. Okay, so if I hold Shift and also click on the name here, I will still get the same result. So the important thing is to hold Shift. If you don't hold Shift, nothing will happen. So like now, if I click top left, it doesn't move anywhere. But if I hold down the Shift key when I click the top left, the sun now moves. And the sun center is now attached to the center of this object. So now the sun will be moving in that place there. So what this is doing is the sun is inheriting the positional property of that object, not just the animated property now. It's inheriting the other object, its parent's position, that is moving to the house. It's like a girl that has left her husband and she goes back to her father's house. So he has gone back to his father's house, that kind of thing. So it's moving to the position. So to make it very clear, let me open the transform for this layer So take note of position is 1443.796, right? Then this one transforms. The position is 640 by 360. That's the center point of this. Now, once I do that same thing I did, if I just click top left, right, you see the position changed a little bit. It from 340, 690, it changed to 495 to 80, because now, as a parent, the anchor point is reading from this section here. So the object looks like I moved it away from its anchor point. Okay, so let me undo that. But if I hold shift and do it, notice what the position is writing now. 0, 0. That means it has imagined that that is where the object was created from. So the positional value is 0, zeroed out, because it is now inheriting whatever this positional value is. So it takes on the form of its parents. So let me do none. Let me take another parent. So let me take this other parent and do the same thing. Shift and bottom right. It jumps there. Position is still reading 0 because it's going to inherit whatever this bottom right position was before. So anytime you do shift or you do the shift and parent option, the object inherits the positional value of the parent, not just the properties are animated. So, and many times it's a good way of parenting, especially when we're doing that motion sketching. So you have an object and you want it to move along the path or along the line. So you now sketch the line. So you actually have to make that your object inherits the position of that sketch so that it moves along that line. So that's when this one makes sense. Okay. Right? So that's parenting. And you can do more than one parent. So basically, uh, I have a rectangle here. My screen has gone off. This thing is staring me. I have a circle here. I have star here. Okay, so I'll just change all their anchors to central like that. Control home, Control Alt Home. That's what I'm doing to relocate all their positions. Okay, so now on my star, I rotational uh, add a rotational animation of 3 oscillations. So it's going to rotate around there, right? Okay. Okay, so now my star is rotating. Um, I think I should have the star move as well. So let me make it move as well. So for position, I'll put it here. And then at this same point where it's on 2 frames, I'll move it here. So that it's not just moving, it's also rotating. Or it's not just rotating, it's also moving, right? Okay. Now I have this rectangle or square, and I have this circle. So it should be harder for the circle. So let me make the circle like this so it won't look too perfect. Okay. Now I want to parent the circle to the star. If I just do shape layer tree, which is a star. Okay, let me rename them. To rename them, select the name of the layer, press enter, and press enter after you rename. This is ellipse, and this is, let me just call it a square because it's actually square. All right, so I want the uh, ellipse to be parented to the star. So if I click star, right, what it's going to do is, you see how it's moving? It's going around, it's like it's going around the star, right? Good. But it's also moving because the star also has movement. If I did shift and star, it will jump to the star. Notice the form changed as well because it had to inherit the star. The star was drawn with a perfect shape, so it had to also inherit the shape. The circle now became perfect at that point. So now moving is going to move with the star as one entity. Yeah, all right. Now I want to do something with the square. I want it to inherit the rotation, but I don't want it to move. So the ellipse is moving and rotating. It inherited the position. It's now rotating and moving with the star, right? But now the square, I don't want it to inherit the position, neither do I want it to move. I just want it to rotate with the star. Good. So that's why in the transform properties of your objects, you have the width on every property here. So I have position, scale, rotation, opacity, all of them, all the widths are there. So what I want the square to imitate is the rotation properties. So I will use this width of the rotation and attach it to the rotation of the star. Now you will see its own parenting. For this other guy, the parenting, everything is still blue, meaning, and there's nothing here, right? So meaning that it's not really doing anything, it's just following this parent. But now I am following a specific property that now creates a red code, or what we'll say an expression, telling the software what not to follow and what to follow. So if I open this expression now, that is this arrow where the rotation is, I will see the expression, and the expression is reading, basically it's a JavaScript kind of thing, but basically this is what it's saying. This comp that we are in, that is the composition now, then the layer star, that is the star, then the transform of the star, then the rotation of the star. That is what this square is following. So meaning that if I play it now, it's going to follow the rotation, but it's not going to move with the star. Meaning, if I come to this expression and change this, and what else is rotated in the star? Position, Abi. I changed it from rotation to position. So it's like, oh, there's an error somewhere. So I need to turn off this. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm on rotation. Rotation cannot follow position. So let me do this. let me copy this. Then let me turn off this expression. To turn off an expression, hold Alt and click on the matter there. So this is where I want to do position. I want it to follow position. I don't want to drag the width position. So I will do like this. I'll hold Alt and click on position. Okay. So what it's saying is transform position, but it's not this position. I want the position of the star. So I have to put this comp, right? That's this composition now that we are in. Okay. I mean, then it's a layer, right? So which layer is it's supposed to copy? The star, right? Abi? Good. Then star, that's the layer it's copying, right? That's a star layer. Then I want it to copy the transform and the position of the star. Sorry, I missed a point there. So let me miss the points here. Let me do this. All right. So just comp layer star, transform, and position. I forgot to put the curly braces because it's JavaScript. That's what this error was saying. So now it's saying it's following this comp layer, the star, the transform, and the position. So that it has now changed to get the position of the star. So it's now going to move with the star, but it's not rotating with the star. So yes, let me give it a different color so I will see it. So you can see it's red there. So you see it's not rotating, it's just moving with the star, but it's not rotating. So it has inherited the position, but it did not inherit the rotation. So that's another way of doing those kind of things. You let something inherit another thing else. Okay. So let me turn off this guy. So it's the same thing as doing if you hold shift and drag. But if I don't hold shift and drag, I just drag this guy here. So it's still going to inherit that because it's position, so it has to take position. Yeah. So that's the thing about uh, parenting. You can take over all the properties, or you just inherit a singular property. Okay. So for instance, now I've not done anything on the star's opacity or scale, but I can plan to inherit the scale before I do it. So you see, it became bigger because of that scale. So now in the star, I can say, okay, let me do scale as well. So it starts, then it gets smaller here. So you see the square gets smaller as well. And then it gets larger here. So whatever is happening with this star based on scale is happening to the square as well. So that's parenting. Parenting just uses another object to control other groups of objects together. So why that is important is in animate when we're creating our animations, there are a lot of things that need to move together. We don't have to all move with the same um, like the best example I gave now, like a car now. You have a car's body, you have the tires. Two of them cannot rotate. The tire is the only one permitted to rotate, but they should both move. Yeah, and inherit the stuff. So every time I say I'm going to do this, I keep forgetting to bring my flash drive. There's a, let me see if I have it here. Yeah, I don't think so. There's a folder I have that I had all those 2D drawings that I had done before. I wanted to bring in one of the drawings because come and start drawing again. Plenty work. All right, let me quickly see something. Let me see if I can get uh, yeah. I've really forgotten how to browse for things. I don't know. Illustrator, it's a picture, vector. Let me do vector. Vector images of car. Okay, so I have one here. Okay, correct. So let me take this one. This car that I did. This is this car in one training for animate, Adobe Animate. I don't say Google don't cook on carry and put here. Like, let me see. Let's easy. I need uh, let me see. Why is it wasting time? Okay, visit site. Okay, let me just get this guy. Hope is a PNG or JPEG. But I'm not in the mood to start doing anything. JPEG. Okay. Okay. Let me see. They'll tell me to sign up. I'm not in the mood to sign up for 2, 1, and 0. Where is it? I don't want to sign up. Oh, this is you that do this. Okay, thank you. Brilliant. All right. I didn't want to sign up. I just wanted to get it. Okay, so it's downloading. Yeah, it should be vector images for cars. Let me bring in the first one I did. Uh, First one I brought in this guy. Let me create a new comp for it. Bring in the image here. Right. So I want to remove these whites. Uh, the light. Oh, white. Yeah. White so hard to. It's not completely white then. Yeah. But that is not Photoshop. So let me do this. Let me change my comp settings to white. Okay. Save me the stars. Now that one has finished downloading too. Let me check it. Okay, yeah, EPS. Let me use the EPS file. Um, extract desktop. Is it? Why is it running? Please catch it. All right. Let me use a circle. This. Max here. Okay. So tires. This one. Right. B. Now invert the mass here. This one will be body. So tires and body. Right. All right. So I can add control D this tires 2, tires 1. So I delete max 2 here. I delete max 1 here. Okay. All right. So for each of these guys, I just center the pump to the layers there. Okay. So I can put rotation on both tires to start at 0 and turn 4 times. So they should turn within themselves like this, as you can see from here. And the body of the car, I'm going to put a movement. So to do that, first I have to make sure the tires are attached to the body. And then I can now do position, change the position of the car off screen, and then at several second goes off screen as well. So the car is going to move, but the tires are going to rotate. Let me select the tire side so we'll see those things moving. So see the movements. Yeah, so the car has position. The tires have rotation. Good. So I now created a movement to attach the cars. So if I want to make it even more detailed, I can turn off, let me turn off the tires, right? So that we don't have uh, viewership for the cars. So let me delete. I've inverted the max already. So let me do like this. Right. So let me add this. Mm, let me do something like this. Okay. So I have my car body moving without tires, right? So I can take, let me draw a square tire. No, it's something that will make it very clear that the thing is moving. Okay. So I can now have Control D, duplicates that, put it here. All right, so these two layers rotation at the beginning, they should rotate together, and at the end, they should go 4 times, right? Basically. Okay, so let me keep here. And then they should be parented to the body of the car. So they are going to follow the rotation. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to explain. Yeah. I masked the tires. I created a mask to hide the tires and create. Um, I just select the car. It's a layer now. It's not a picture. It's a layer. It's a picture layer. So that's it there. So this is what parenting is all about. We are trying to get other things. They are doing other things, but something else is moving as well. Okay, so that's parenting. So that's clear, right? No confusion. Okay. Amir, Amir, are you following or you in La La Land? Are you clear on parenting? I'll take that as a maybe. Keep your eyes open because this is the revision. If you don't get it, it's not going to be taught again because there are other things that we need to do. So that's parenting. The tires are rotating on their own, but then they are parented to the car. The car is their parent now. So whatever the car is doing, they're going to do. If I go into the scale and reduce the scale or increase the scale, all of them increase and reduce as well. So parenting can also help in making adjustments to your design. Once everything is tagged to one object, you just do the adjustments on that one object. Everybody else adapts that way. Okay, so that's the concept there. So that's parenting. No issue, right? Watch the video again and confirm within yourselves. All right. So Now, yesterday we did text animation. I was saying that we should do a pattern, or we should do a symbolism of that. I don't know if you did, but in case you didn't do, uh, I've posted the video. So do it and send it to me on the, can take a screenshot, or no, not a screenshot. If you can't record a video, you need to just save the work. Send me the work file on WhatsApp, or send it in that Google Docs document. Then save your file. Then send me that your save file to Google Docs. Yes, because I don't want you to render it. In case you need to make adjustments, you can make the adjustments later. The weekend assignment. Which one? Okay, that one. And no, I'm not sending it today now. I send it as the weekend assignment. Because this weekend you still have something else to do. That one is not the weekend assignment. That one is just submit it today. Alright, yes. So as in you're supposed to submit it before class. So since I couldn't upload the video on time yesterday, so I'm not like, okay, you can submit it alongside whatever I'm going to give you to do today. Yeah, which will be your weekend work, right? So we've done text animation, and want to talk about, since we are at it already, why not talk about it at once? We can talk about masking, different kinds of masking. What is a mask? Mask, something you use to cover your face, right? Yeah, that's good. It's called, your one is called what, a nose mask or face mask or sub-zero mask. So, but it's a mask. Primarily, what does a mask do? A mask hides or reveals portions of an object. In our case, a layer. It hides or reveals portions of a layer, and we use our shape tools to create masks in After Effects. So we can also use sub-layers to create masks of other layers, use called a track mask kind of thing. So let me start with the basic mask effect. So now, let's say I have, let me create a text layer, and I have a text masking, literal naming, assuming you don't like it. So I have this text, and if I take my rectangle or my pen tool, if the text layer is selected, it will create a mask. If the text layer is not selected, it will create a shape. So right now, text layer is not selected. I've deselected it. You can see there's no red marking there. If I take my rectangle tool and draw, I will draw a rectangle in a shape layer, right? If my shape layer is selected and I draw another thing, even if I take my pen tool and draw something, it is going to create a shape, right? Three shapes, good. But, and if nothing is selected, it will create a new shape layer. So we have shape layer 2. But if any other layer is selected that is not a shape layer, it wouldn't create a shape. It will create a mask and hide some parts of the layer and reveal some parts of the layer. So this is a text layer. This is a picture. Uh, this is a picture layer. So um, from the one that I just downloaded. So now let me duplicate this layer. Let's say I wanted to have these two cars on separate layers, right? Let me turn off this guy so it starts blocking. I want these cars on separate layers. Right now, they are just on the same layer. So I can select this first layer, take my pen tool, okay, and create a mask around this car like this. And on this other layer, from here, I create a mask around this car. So it looks like I've not done anything, right? Okay. If I turn off this layer, you won't see the yellow guy. If I turn on this one, you won't see the red guy. So I have actually made two layers which I can now move. All right, so I use the mask or shape to separate an image that has more than one object. So it hid the other objects. Just like I did with these texts, this is the mask. There, I used the mask shape to hide things in the mask layer. It's only masking its layer, not another layer. It only masks, just like in Photoshop. When you create, when you have a picture, then you remove background, you create a layer mask. Well, it masks only the layer that it is working with. Unless you copy that mask and paste it on another layer, then it will copy that last. But okay, question. What's the question? I duplicated the car. Okay, let me do like this. See, this is the car. This is the mask, right? This is the mask I did. Now, if I delete the mask, you will see the other car, right? Because it's just one image that has two cars. So, but with the mask, now I've hid the second car and we are only seeing one car. So that's why I duplicated the layer so that I could have the two cars showing. So in one layer, I maxed out the red car. In one layer, I maxed out the yellow car so that they now work as if they are individual shapes. Sometimes when you download images of cars, like we went to Google now to go and get, some people will have 10 cars in one picture, right? So, and you don't want to have to start drawing, which you should, but let's say you don't want to. So you just get those pictures and get out those cars singularly and do whatever you want to do with them. Okay, so back to what we're doing. So that's masking. So in every of these layers, these masks are animatable. They are almost everything in After Effects can be animated as long as we see the what they call the stopwatch there. So let me start with the text on. Let me turn off this guys. Let me start with the text on. So now that I created a mask, I have a mask and the I have one mask and then I have what we call the mask path, feather, opacity, and expansion. So expansion of the mask is like trying to grow the mask wider or smaller than its basic uh, coverage at that moment. So basically, this line forms the mask, right? It's like drawing a rectangle, and then expansion is increasing the stroke. So wherever the stroke is going. So increasing like this is like increasing the stroke on the outside. Type C. Okay. So this is the expansion is like increasing the reducing the stroke of the mask. Opacity obviously is to make the marks visible or not visible. The feather, right now, the mask is very sharp. Yeah, it's a sharp cut. It's just a very sharp cut on the text. But with the feather, you can soften out the cut so that it's not very sharp. It's just uh, small that was there. So that's the feather. And then the max path is the path. This is the shape here. Now in animation, I can animate the max path. Yes, I am. I think so. I believe so. Yes, I click record. It's still recording. Okay. So I can animate the max path. This is the max path, right? This guy here. So let's say I want to make something like this that nothing shows in the beginning. Okay? Maybe let me come to this point here where nothing is showing like this. Now I can keyframe that. Okay, move sometime in the line and start revealing the path. Sorry, I made it too tight. That's the problem of being a maker or a maker. So what? Yeah, I did actually did. Okay. So now don't worry, I'm going to get it. So I start revealing the mask like this. So it kind of has a cutoff here. And then somewhere here, I'm selecting the mask so that I can pick the points, right? And then I start opening it up more. And then I move forward. Then I pick this, open up like this. And I move forward. And then I open up completely here and here. So automatically I just have that animation of the max opening. So it's like if I'm trying to do that text animation, but I'm using a mask to do it. So you can try it. If for any reason, let me delete the mask first. So imagine there's no mask, right? So this is how we'll try it. There's no mask. So you can draw a rectangle or draw a shape like this and just okay, let me even do it from outside here. Since I'm going to mask out the animation there. So right now the text is off. The mask is created. The mask has a blending mode. See the blending mode here. It's add, subtract, intersect, lighten, darken, same blending mode. Then we have inverted. Inverted is to invert the effect of the mask. So either you're seeing or you're not seeing whatever you are doing. All right. So just create the mask first over your text. Have we done that? My text is here. I drew the mask outside of the text so that I will make the mask clean, wipe, show the text. Yep. Amir, are you doing it? Do it too. The only revision we'll get is watch the video. Now I have I have a code. See, there's so much to do here, and we have wasted so much time here. There are a lot more things to learn apart from that. We still have AutoCAD, we still have 3ds Max. Question. You said? No, I did inverted side. You will see this is how it will be. If you draw it outside, yes. When you create a mask, by default, it hides other things and only reveals what is within that shape of the mask. Uh-huh. So you are safe, right? Inverted inverts the mask. So yes, if you now move it to the shape, it hides the shape. I mean, it hides the text instead. All right, TJ, are you here on this page?
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, so we need to animate the mask revealing the text. So in order for us to do that, we will first of all open up the mask option. It is the mask path we are animating. So click on the stopwatch as that for your initial time. So click on the stopwatch and there. So that we record that at the beginning we can't see the text. All right. So if your shape is like this beside the mask, the animation will be smooth. You just move once, right? It won't get anywhere. So just get to wherever you wanted the animation to stop. And then you, sorry, get to where you want the animation to stop. Then click on the word mask and then pick a point of your mask and reveal it like this. So that it kind of cleans off like this. So click on the word masks, not mask one, masks. And then go and adjust your mask to reveal the text. Okay. So click mask. If you click on mask one, it may not know that you want to work on the mask. I think you just want to move the mask shape to another position. And then after a while, maybe you keyframe that point, and then in a fraction of a second, you can now make the max close up. So you can just drag the max down. So it reveals and then closes up. Have we done it? So good. So remember, initial position, no text. Then you keyframe when the text is revealed. Your next keyframe should maintain the text being revealed. That is duration of how long it will last on screen. Because if you don't create that duration, what your max will just do is appear and disappear. So you have to create the duration, how long it will be on screen. So, and then you now create the other one. Is it? Okay, so I think I put 1 second. So it comes up, or is it 1 second? Yeah, 1 second or 2 seconds, and then it goes off screen. So the masking, it shows, and then it goes away. All right, good. All right. Amir, do you have that? All right. So that's basic. This one is because the mask is freely adapted, as in is straightforward. Okay. If it was a mask that was different, so let's say I can create a mask too. Okay, and starting from here. Okay, no, let me just write a new text layer. That I don't complicate that guy. So, uh, walking mask. All right, so this is a walking mask. We already have a normal mask, and it's going to be a walking mask. So this particular mask now, what we are going to use this one to do is we're going to create an oblique kind of shape. So let me not use pen, let me use rectangle. And just actually draw a rectangle. So doesn't matter the shape. It could be a circle, it could be a rectangle. But as long as it's a shape tool, a shape drawing tool to create a mask. So now I have mask one. Okay. So same thing, I want to create the mask animation, but I want it to be walking. I want the mask to be like, yes, like it's walking. It's not just it's not just going straight, but it's actually walking. So it's taking a path, maybe somewhere it can come backwards, and then goes forward again. Then, so it walks up to there, maintains that position, and then I create another walk. Sorry, create another work. And then it maintains its position. Then somewhere here it walks this way. And add another point in the map so that it creates some dynamic. Then here I can now make this guy close up like this, and then zero screen. Okay, so here I just did a crazy walking, so it's just going to be walking. Then sees itself, and then it closes up and goes off screen. So that kind of stuff, yeah, like it's just irregular, that kind of stuff. So this one way of creating mask is basically to hide or reveal stuff. But masks can be used for other purposes apart from just hide and reveal stuff. We can use masks to create um, a text on a path. So for instance, I have a text layer and I write something. Okay, so let me reduce that. Let me reduce the text on the path. Sir, feel free. Just turn it to, okay, I put it on 28 before. Put it on 30. 30. You put it on, if you put it off, you know this class in 5 minutes will be up. Okay. So it will get hot now. All right. So now another use of masks. Gracias. Another use of masks, text on a path and stuff. So now I have the layer, I have my pen. I will create a path. I will also use my circle and create a path. Right. So I have two paths now. I have one mask here. I have one mask here. All right. And I have my texts. Now I can't see the text either on anyone. I have mask 2 and mask 1. Mask 1 is the path. Mask 2 is a circle, right? So the circle, for what I want to achieve, I don't want it to appear in the circle and disappear. Neither do I want it to appear on the path and disappear. But I want it to take the shape of the mask itself. So this is another use of masks. So under the option of text now, we have path options. I have created two masks. The path option by default is on none. So without the masks, right? Without the masks, my text is just here. Okay. So I can, under the path options, choose mask 1. So when I choose mask 1, the text appears on the path, adjust on the path. If I choose, and in that one, I can now animate my text movements along the path. Okay. So the text goes and goes out. Ooh, Superman, and it's going out screen. Okay, so that's that one. If I choose max 2, the text will go around max 2, the circle. Okay, so right now it's on the inside of the circle. If I do reverse path, it will go on the other way. All right. So, but and definitely the same way, I can use the margin to make the text roll within it. Okay. So the masks are not only used to hide the objects, but we can also use them as paths for the text to, or for a text to follow. That option is for text, not for any other thing. Okay, so You will create a video and you are looking for video on a path. So that one you just have to create a motion path for that. But for text, because of their um, the structure of the way they were created, you can have various options within them. Okay, so can perpendicular to path, off and on. You perpendicular to path, that's the text will not follow the path off or on. Then force alignments, like complete the circle or stop here. So force alignments to complete the circle or stop. Then first margin, last margin is just the movement of the text within that path. Reverse path is the text taking the reverse of the shape of the mask. So whether it's max 1 or max 2, you choose the same options. Reverse path takes the other points of the path. And perpendicular to path will change the way the text is leaning on the path. Force alignments will make the text either complete the path or not. Then first margin will make the text move along the path. So that is another way of using masks. It's not just to hide like we did in the initial one. So unfortunately, you can't animate your path because it cannot change path, but you can animate what the path is doing. So like this text now, I can animate the max 1. So I can say uh, be off screen at this point, right click here, and then at the end of 4 seconds, and tell it now to be on screen and go off. All right, so I now have that movement. So I have this text go like that. Okay, right? So you can animate all these ones. Then you can be animating your reverse path if you like, but this one will work like source text. Like it will work with stops, not with so it will work with source with stops rather. So it will start to change and then to appear back. So definitely you can play around with all the animations. Just let your creativity hook you, or let your creativity key you. Anyone the wisdom key you there. All right. So those are ways we can use masking, shape masking. And like I said, there's another kind of masking that is used called track matte. Um, I don't want to go too far in it, but it's not difficult stuff. That one is, we find that under these our switches and modes. So we need a mode to work for it. So this is a track matte option where we have our blending modes, and then we have the track matte modes. So the way the track matte works, uh, okay, let me turn on, let me create a new text layer, and right, and I'll change this guy back to Nord. All right, make it larger. Probably bring in a video. Uh, let me bring in a video. You have some short video somewhere. Where is that Premiere Pro folder? All those clips that we got. Okay. That picture. Let's take a picture. Okay. Let me use this video. So now I have this video here at the background. And this is TrackMath. So what TrackMath does, math basically is like a mat, like putting mat on top of a carpet on top of the floor. It covers the floor, right? And then you can then at the point you now see the floor through the carpets. That kind of thing we did in Photoshop when you put a text inside the text. Idea, Roger. Go to the snap. So track maths work like now. This is the video. This is the text. If I come to the option for track math here, remember I'm changing between my switches. This is switches, and this is modes. Modes has us blending mode. We have multiply and the rest, and then we have this guy. So now, if I do track maths with layer 1, it puts the video inside the text. The important thing for track math is what will be used as the window has to be on top of the thing that you are trying to hide. So like the video is playing over the text. The text is on top of the video. So I can have a situation where I create a mat for my video, and then I do for my text layer, I put the video inside my text layer. Now, in newer versions of um, what do you call it now? After Effects, you can actually do more than that. In older versions, you just had one way. It was just a one-way streak. Okay, like now you can switch between the alpha and the luma. That's this place here. You can actually take let me see. Yes, one. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, you had a max before. Delete your max. So here you can actually do it over another layer that is not directly on top of it. In previous versions, it's only works with the layer on top of it. But now you can choose any layer somewhere in the document that it works with. Okay. Then every other thing can be showing, but that one is just maxed. So that's a track math. You use a layer, another layer to uh, expound on the video itself. So this can be done in let me show you how you can use this in a movie scenario. Okay, you are trying to introduce this video. Okay, you are trying to introduce this video. Let's say that. All right, and then I do this. Let me take my shape and let me make this text, it should be like that. So now I can come in here, my text, the scale, I can make it very large, position, change position like this. So let me do it like this. I want to get the scale and the position to a point where the text actually reveals the video. So something here. Okay, so see something like this now. This I see. All right. So I have this effects here. I turn on my scale. I animate my scale, my position, my opacity. My opacity is it's kind of up. I'm starting from the back because I want it to reveal the video. So my scale here, I now take my scale down to, let's say, 50, change my position, bring the thing back here, and lift this guy up like this. So, okay, so I reduce the scale more. So I have something like this. So it's like a movie reveal, that kind of effect. So yeah, and then you start watching those kind of stuff. Exactly. So let me make it larger. All right, so we have this now. So you have your texts come up and then now and then watches the movie. So you can use it as a movie review for your stuff. Right. It starts off at 0 with opacity. So those everything is gone. This. Wow, then you now have your titles. Okay. I think I'm going to stop here. Okay. I'm going to stop here for today. For your weekend work, do a movie review. You already have a movie project, right? You have one project, that one that the guy was jumping, all the others. To create a title, bring in that your project, import your video here, create the title review. Yes, before the project. To bring in the movie, just like I brought in this movie, write a text on the name of the movie and then do a reveal before the movie starts. Right. So I'll try that. So I'm going to write it again. So in case you mix it, I'm going to write it. I'm going to write it in the group so you know what to do. So either do the movie or do that guy that was jumping around. Or whatever one you want to do, just do. Mm. Okay, so that's what you do this weekend. All right, I'm stopping here. I want to take few 10 minutes break before my next class. Um,